All right, welcome back, everyone. This is round 16 of the. We are brought with. We see a lot together. Jackson Smylie and Josh Sokol. Pretty darn well in this tournament. First, and Josh is in. No, Josh is
Other
in
way
first, and
around.
Jackson. Yes, my bad. So I had some audio mishaps on my end, so I'm going to work on resolving those. For
Jackson
now,
to play first.
have Jackson first. He
A
has.
decent rack here.
Okay, I see it now. And Josh does not have a good rack. I think wouldn't be surprised if Jackson played a little shorter here.
For example, OF.
Yeah. No, and Jambu is not acceptable. Well,
What are some other plays that Jackson can consider, Avery? Felon?
And suggested in the chat FLITE. Maybe. I mean, I don't really like getting rid of the. I feel like his rack is good enough that. And a fish here. Really a fan of Olafin, as was suggested in the chat, just because it's got that hook that he does not have himself.
It also would open 6 floaters for Josh.
Yeah, and he might not want to do that. I mean, he has no information on. But okay, we do see Flight coming down.
That's a reasonable play. I don't strictly disagree with it. I personally probably would play short as well with OF and keep ELINT. Well, Josh has 2 U's. He's got quite a clunky rack here. I don't see a whole lot of great plays for his J to score. He's off by 1. He nearly has bulimia, but not quite.
I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see if I can use real quick.
Josh looks like he's pondering fairly hard on this play. He has a few choices here. He might consider album, which is only 18.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Welcome back, Avery.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. I am doing audio from my phone now. Hopefully that should avoid any echoes or anything like that. Sorry if it was getting on anyone's nerves. So yes, Jackson did draw a bingo, as many people are pointing out. Yeah, labium has been suggested. I actually didn't remember that was good. I know labia is a word. I don't think I would have been sure of labium.
Right.
So I do know, like, based on when I played Josh last month, he tends to, like, maybe he's just against me, he liked playing more closed and more controlled, so not surprising to me that Bum is coming down. But it's going to backfire, and Jackson is probably going to bingo here. Would not be surprised to see that happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he's also looking for a 9 right now, which does not exist. Zev asks, why keep the J? I don't think it's a matter of keeping the J so much as reducing his bingo chances. I think Josh can be tuning into the fact that Jackson probably kept 2 low scoring letters, 2 1-pointers last turn. Wouldn't be that unreasonable for him to have hit something now. And in this case, he did, and it's coming down. All right. Josh doesn't have a lot of great options here.
No.
But you can play like Jail with LI above infolder.
For 24.
You can play Join, putting the J on the double letter. I'm not real happy about that leave, but not sure how picky I could be about that at this point. None of the leaves are great here. Jura or Jurl through that R. It's just suggested in the chat also, as I said it.
He also has Jail at F2 coming down through the eye of infolder.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm not thrilled with that leave either.
That leave is even worse. I mean, UNS isn't great, but with the right like 1 point letter picks, that can be okay. Like if you draw an R or a T or an E.
As it was, Josh was kind of bailed out by drawing LNS with his AJIU leave after your bum.
That's what I tell a lot of people is it's like some of the leaves that you have really just don't work with a whole lot of things, so you got to keep in mind like what you're drawing to it, and he drew pretty well to it.
Absolutely.
I mean, about as good as he could have. Not a lot of great things. So it looks like he's... What's he laying out here?
Is he going to maybe consider Jura?
Jura or Jural. It does yield big responses, obviously, because he's putting the J next to the double word, but...
And he does hook the L to the end.
The leave is about as good as you can get here, and he's giving himself 2 bingo lanes. He's giving himself the right side of the board to play with, and also has the S for bums. And Jackson has an O. Don't know if it's in his best interest to... Oh, wait, no, OH. That's pretty good.
He's got OH for a lot.
For some reason, that didn't occur to me, but yes.
33, looks like.
Takes out that scoring spot, that also UH obviously does not take a hook, which is good for him.
Looks like he's separated HAE, maybe paralleling infolder. Although it does score significantly fewer points, it does take out the L and the D for potential bingos from Josh. At the same time, it opens another line, column row 2, possibly ending in an R or a T above hooking HO or an O.
I know Jackson's very cognizant of long-term and short-term defense of the board. He just uploaded a bunch of games against Joey Krafchick, and he mentions that in a lot of his games, which I think is really important to consider a lot. So I don't think I would see something like HAE come down from him. No. You see OH, which definitely I think helps a lot. This board is kind of hard to do long-term defense on right now, just because it's really sectioned off. Like there's no way to block the bum spot and the spot next to Jurl. So I think OH is perfectly fine to score, and with the right draws, he can maybe get a bingo. See what he gets.
Yeah, he wants to maintain as big a lead as possible with that rack.
Okay, we have O and E, so not what he wanted to see, but he does have the lead.
Josh has OY hooking joy on the triple for
Right. And I
a
wouldn't be
decent
surprised if
score.
we saw that coming down. Leaves sinus and nisus. Not the best leave. Could turn into some things. Issuance, sustain, but nothing great.
It
Those
was kind of
S's are important, though.
extremely.
All right, so Oi comes down. Not surprising. By far the best equity play, I'd imagine.
Jackson drew 2 more vowels to his already leave of 4 vowels plus the N, so he's looking pretty tough here. Although he does have a couple of options. He might consider Aedine, Aedine, for 14.
Yeah. Um,
He might consider trading. This looks like a pretty good
One
trading.
downside I don't particularly like about Adian is that it gives some more bingo lines to the left and right of that E.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if that's exactly what he wants. It's kind of hard to tell what Josh is leaving after Oi because he could be keeping well, but he could very easily be not keeping well.
Very true.
He is laying it down. Kind of like the suggestion of Oleine, because the J is gone, so you don't have to worry about that at 3i. It does deal with the D as a double lane. Makes it a lot harder to hit that, which I think he might want to address.
Looks like a pretty good option.
Adyne is pretty fine though. And turnover is kind of a good thing when you have a lot of vowels. And we do see that coming down. I think I like it the more I look at it. It's not intuitive to me that that would be a good play because I tend to think a lot about what I'm giving back in terms of like bingos, but Adyne's perfectly fine with that. I think I judged it a little too fast. Okay, we have
Well, Josh has 2 U's, and he may not be too happy with that. He has UNCUS and bums for
yeah,
too many points.
these weird singulars, so like labium and uncus. They don't come up a lot, but yeah,
No,
that's definitely a good play to dump what you don't want on that rack. I think he was laying out meniscus. Not that that scores anything, but it looks pretty nice. Yes, uncus does play in a couple different places.
it's only 18.
Since he's down, though, he's probably going to want to play pluralizing bum just to try to develop the left side of the board a little more because he has plenty of flexibility on the right side.
He's down by 74 here, so actually he plays it in a very unusual place, in my opinion. It's 16, and I guess what he's going for here is opening the board a bit more.
I guess also what he wants is probably to leave that bum spot alone.
Yeah,
Wasn't intuitive to me at first, but yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
it's 2 fewer points.
I don't think I don't think grasping at those 2 points is necessarily what he needs to be doing now. But yes, obviously that is something worth considering.
So
So I think definitely worth sacrificing those 2 points. And yes, Jackson's got close to like a good rack. He's got a bunch of good ways to dump like 3 or 4 tiles.
Yeah, he can definitely do some grooming with this rack. This will be an interesting one to see what he considers doing.
The X is unseen, and that came up because Josh just drew it. So if he were to do something like bop and bump, it would backfire because Josh would get radix.
Very nice.
Maybe something like bib and bed.
Yeah, I was trying to find a 6 through that O, but I'm not seeing it.
I don't think there's one. I mean, he can play sixes, just not there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he has like opened and debone, but neither of those are great.
Avery, there are no front hooks for Uncas, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And Zizova can back me up on that, as I just looked it up.
Well, he has beep, B-E-E-P on row 3, making PIS. I don't know if that's a great play. Not.
I mean, it does block his floaters for 8s, which I think is important, because the 7s that Josh can play tend to give a lot of counterplay back. Like, if he were to play something in S with bums, it would give back that triple on the left.
Yes.
Anything on the left or right of Adine gives a lot of openings, double words, stuff like that. And obviously, if he played to the right of Gerald, he'd get the triples on that side. I don't know if that leave, though, isn't great. I think the E is pretty good with the D and the N here, so I don't think he would want to part with both of them. But
agreed.
Not easy play.
No.
What's he? I think he's considering boned. I do like that for. That's pretty good.
It's a nice sleeve.
The P works well with this board, I think. Bone is pretty good for defense, blocking those 8 lanes.
Doesn't give back any all that much to Josh either.
For some reason, I wasn't really looking at that area, but I like that play a lot.
Well, now Josh is going to look to cash in his X somehow, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of great plays.
Yeah, it's really just like however many spots you can find to play AX, and then hoping you draw like a E or T to that.
He's currently down 78 points. So
he could still play like AX and XIS top left
for 19.
I mean, what he doesn't want to do is block his lanes. Like, his one really good S lane is with bums, so he's not going to want to play like DA and AX because that blocks it.
Right.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be happy to dump the X for so little here, but he really needs a bingo to get back up, and he's not going to get that bingo probably by keeping the X. I see Conrad made a guest appearance right behind Jackson there. Conrad's having a fun time down there, I'm sure.
I think this is as much fun as as much as anything else. This is what he looks forward to, this tournament, every year, whether he plays or not.
Yeah. I'm sure the atmosphere of the city and what it's known for is probably also a big reason he likes it there.
Absolutely.
So it looks like Josh is going to play AX somewhere. We'll see where. Oh! He is going to play for more points.
That's very interesting. I'm very surprised that he did that.
Me too. Not entirely sure I like that.
I don't either.
I mean, solely because it blocks that bingo lane that he needs so badly. Oh, that's a pretty good draw, though. I mean, he's got the hue, but
and the blink.
that blink does help. For some reason, the blink wasn't coming out of my mouth.
Well, Jackson's setting up Perv alongside what I assume is the Ut
right.
and me spot.
Right. Yeah, Axe and XIS at the top is only one fewer point. It's really surprising that came down. But yeah, I think Perv's going to come down, and that's really good for long-term defense, making it really hard to develop the bottom part of the board through that area. Really, the only way he's going to be able to do it is with a bingo or something along those lines.
I imagine Jackson can assume that Josh may reasonably have another S, considering he played 1 for 16 earlier.
Perv does take an O, as Alec points out, but if he plays it with Axe, it's not really going to do Josh a whole lot of good. You see Veg come down, though, or Veg.
That's a nice play.
Well, it does have an A hook, and it does allow a couple more bingos. I think I would have played Perv myself. Veg's certainly not bad, though. Maybe he was also worried about something hooking Axe, making some setup on the left. That's interesting. I'm not sure what his thinking was there.
Josh gets the easy QI.
Yeah.
To remain down by only 52.
Jackson has the H and the O in his hand.
He makes a beautiful find of Holpen for a ton.
Oh, that's a great play. I did not see that. That actually just came up in the Twitch stream yesterday. Somebody was saying that Holpen couldn't possibly be in TWL, and sure enough, it is. And that's a beautiful play. Well done by Jackson.
Has an anagram, phenol.
It does. So yeah, we're probably going to see Danders here. Can't imagine there's something better. Flight does take a D, but I think Josh is going to want a much more volatile board given the score right now.
He's down 88 and down not just the points, but also the board is going to be very unfavorable to him after he does bingo. So Jackson will still have a considerable advantage, although we can see what his rack is with no vowels over there. He might actually need to exchange based on what Josh does.
There's a bunch of 4-point tiles unseen, which makes playing Danders to the right of Flight a little more worrisome, because like something like, I don't know, 4 or where or something would really just ruin the board and make it really hard to catch up. I think intuitively, I might play Danders to the right of Jurl just to try to keep as many options as possible open. Yeah, N5.
Yeah, I think that's looking good to me too.
As Crapcat points out, Danders with Flighted actually has the same problem that I didn't take note of. So yeah, I think N5 probably would be my choice. We'll see what he decides on. I think he's kind of getting visibly frustrated, though.
Josh tends to overthink a lot of times, and he may be getting in his own mind here and just running his clock unnecessarily.
Right.
He did do
this a lot against me back in Boston last year. It was a lot of like spending time kind of psyching himself out of stuff and then not having a lot of time for the end game.
I can read his body language here. He looks like he is a bit perturbed by the fact that he will have a bad board position following this bingo.
Right.
And without perhaps a chance to create an easy comeback after it. Although he will be in striking range, he'll need a bit of good luck on his next draw.
Danders on the right on N5 would put him down 29. And given Jackson's rack, I mean, if Josh draws well, he'd catch back up. And okay, we're seeing Danders in the spot that I think we all seemed to think was best. Good play by Josh.
Jackson in a tough spot here with no great choices except I'd say exchange. I would certainly exchange and probably keep maybe ZS or something along those lines.
That's never really intuitive to me because, especially on this board, where's the Z going?
Great point. Without any vowels.
Just because this board is really not friendly to the Z, I think what he'd want to do is probably keep like SR, STR. I only say SR because there's 4 T's unseen.
Right. There are a lot of vowels to be drawn here, although...
That's true. Josh has trolled us and is not showing us his last tile.
I see that. Keeping it interesting, I suppose.
No, that is... it might be a blank, but we are not sure. It's backwards, or upside down, however you'd like to orient it.
One nice thing is that if Josh were to play through that S or down to the triple from the S with a 5, and Jackson kept the Z, he may very well get Z's here coming back for 72.
I think that's why he's keeping the Z, which is favorable. I didn't take note of that until just now.
And he does get the E, so what will Josh do?
I think you're looking at the screen that's a couple seconds ahead of mine, so...
Oh, I apologize.
It's okay. I see he has the A2 for Zeta. That's a very good draw for Jackson. That K is going to be helpful for scoring also. Okay,
Indeed.
So Josh does not have what he wants. Something tells me he's going to block that D, though.
You can consider Gadai, G-A-D-I.
Yeah, I think Gadai is pretty good. Or, I mean, hell, even Goa and Lag.
Yeah.
I think you kind of have to block up there, though.
Certainly seems the most volatile.
Have an update in the CSW division. Evan Borowski won his last game of the day against Nathan Benedict, who had a rough go. I think lost his last 4. So Evan is in first with 12-4. Very impressive in that very tough field. And Joey Malik also won his game by a lot, so he is in third place now in TWL.
Thanks for the update. Okay, Josh gets 27, blocks the big Z play that Jackson would have had.
Right. Good play by him. Definitely warranted. Maybe we'll see something like size here with axes. That scores 47.
That's a nice play. I like that.
And he does have 2 A's, so paralleling that again would be in his favor.
Yes, it also somewhat blocks 8-letter bingos ending in S.
Right.
Should Josh have drawn something good.
There's a good chance, though, that Josh might be holding an A after Goa, so he may be more hesitant to do that, but 47 points is a lot. We have a suggestion of ZA and Zin.
I'm not a huge fan of that, although it does set up KA for 36 next turn.
I think he can get a lot more out of the Z and K together, though, so I might be a bit more hesitant to play something like that.
I'm with you there. I think what he needs to do is maintain tempo. He's still got even though it's a very small lead, he's still controlling the board somewhat. I would be surprised if he didn't play size here.
Yeah. Especially since Josh is basically even the score. Scoring here matters a lot. I mean, it's not like he can fish easily, so. All right. And size does come down. There aren't as many options for Josh as I thought there were. Uh-oh.
And it looks like Josh has played Lineways, and Jackson is taking him to the challenge computer.
Yeah. He laid that down fast. I'm surprised to see that. So I saw earlier when Josh was on the stream, they were positing that they'd see at least one phony. I don't know if there was a phony that game, but you have one here, and that's going to come off the board. Very quick and efficient challenge from Jackson.
It's very close to Laneways, but
that might be
not
what he's
quite.
thinking of. Yeah. Somebody played Line Guys against me in Boston. That's also phony. Guy lines only.
Right.
Okay, so that's a big pivotal moment there.
Not only does Jackson have a 49-point lead plus the play, he knows Josh's entire rack and consider blocking any other potential scoring spots Josh might come up with next turn.
Not to mention that he also knows the blank is in the bag.
Very good point. So he's got a bit of an awkward rack. He's got two A's, Kiwi, and a P. It looks like he has the PA set up under Jip and Za for a good number of points.
I think that's perfectly fine, just given that he knows Josh can't do much about that.
Yeah, it leaves clunkily.
It does.
It leaves a Kiwi. Or a Wiki.
He can't really do anything like Wikis or Kiwis to that S, though, just because they give back a lot of easy parallel plays.
Right. PA scores 31.
I think that's a pretty good play.
Give him an 80-point advantage.
It has just been pointed out to me that Michael Fagan is in the chat right now with us. Good to see you, Michael.
Welcome, Michael.
I didn't recognize the name at first. Michael's a good expert player from Canada. Nice guy. So we see PA come down. I think that's a really good play because, I mean, Josh has nothing after that. The board is less friendly than it was a couple turns ago, and Josh still doesn't really have any options. So I'm sure Josh is probably a little thrown off now.
He looks like he's wincing and making himself more miserable.
Yeah. He does. He's laying out weenie spelled wrong. Hopefully that doesn't come down.
Yeah.
He could play something like Anywise to go for the blank. He doesn't know if Jackson has it or not, but doesn't really accomplish anything, especially since he's down a full bingo now. It's going to be really hard to get anything going, though, just because anything he's going to play is on the bottom part of the board.
He can play Zanily from ZA. It may not be a great play, but it does open the board.
All right about that.
It's 20 points.
It does open the board. That's about the only thing it accomplishes, though.
Not a huge fan of that.
Keeps a W, so not really great. Sizel is not good in TWL.
Unfortunately for
but
Josh.
Yes, as
I
was
was
thinking
inlay.
Earlier, if he were to play Kiwis or something, Low play underneath that. And if he were to play Wikis, Josh would have Weekly. Inlays coming down. I think that's probably about as good as he can do. that W isn't great, but I mean, you got to go for the blink now and try to get something going on the bottom. You're not going to win just by fishing and keeping good 1 point tiles.
And Jackson still he did draw an R to his vowels with his K. He has KA on column N, 14, 27,
And Josh drew a bingo.
29.
He has Sweetie and ZAS.
Look at that.
But
2 spots, no less. 3 spots, actually.
3 spots. I see 1, 2.
Sorry, 2.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jackson's considering Mew and Wiki, which is really good, and actually takes out both of Josh's spots that he needs.
Wow, that's impressive right there. That's a very
Josh is
good
not
play.
going to be happy to see that come down, but you can see him squinting his eyes at it.
Beautiful play from Jackson. Josh.
Is Tweenie good? I can't remember.
Yes.
Well, Alec is saying it in the chat, so I'm
yes.
Gonna trust his instinct and say that that's probably good. And of course, Jackson drew carrots. And I think Trocaris is good.
Yes.
So we're probably gonna. I think Josh is probably gonna be at a big disadvantage. But he does see Tweenie. I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, so we're gonna see Tweenie come down, and then I'd imagine carrots will come down. Yeah, I think Josh might be out of luck here, but we'll see how the rest of the game plays out. I can't imagine Jackson's gonna miss that bingo though.
Might Josh be doubting the validity of Tweenie separating out and taking his time here when he doesn't have much more time?
I think he might also be trying to give himself just a way to win at this point. He might be playing like EWE at the top with Boned, try to give himself a triple. Do the Nigel thing where like you always set up a triple, even if you're down by 200, just in case it happens.
That's an option.
I think that's what he's considering. I know Josh is definitely somebody who does not give up easily, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw EWE come down or something. A lot harder to bingo through the W, so. Although, obviously, if you were to play EWE, you would see creators come down in response. And Jackson has Trocars next to net. So, definitely a good draw for Jackson.
Josh checking the bag with about 5 minutes and 15 seconds on his clock.
Looks like Jackson has 7 minutes and 16 seconds.
Josh taking his time with his play. He spent several minutes here deliberating.
Pool isn't great, though, especially from his perspective. It's very, very consonant heavy. So there's really not a great chance that Jackson can bingo. Although I do think the pool is wrong. There's an S unseen to Josh. I think hopefully Christian can fix that. The pool, as shown on the screen, I think is incorrect. There is an S unseen with Josh up to play. So I think something might be off somewhere. Oh, it's the. I think you have an S inputted on his rack instead of a blank. Wonderful. Thanks for that, Christian.
Josh really putting the pressure on himself with 3+ minutes left here.
I think he's just trying to find any possible way he can win this game. Jackson, as usual, is remaining very calm and collected.
Yes, he is.
He's definitely a lot more stoic than Josh. I know he has a lot of emotions in the game, but he's very good at keeping them in. Josh is a little bit more visual.
Josh plays for 35, spending the blank.
What is going on here? I wonder if he's just trying to go for something like either on the bottom triple or like next to NE. Interesting. I mean, I think he's just trying to. I think it's just like a weird way of forking the board. If he made it a T, he'd have Ravagoat.
That's right. Jackson with another bingo as Avery said through that E.
And then we have confirmed that the blank is a D.
Jackson moving the bingo down to block the D. Good idea.
Just in case.
Seems wise.
It's like a 6-point sacrifice, but very, very unlikely that Josh is going to go after this. And there's Conrad. Game is not over, though. Jackson's still considering everything. I mean, he's gonna. You can't really go wrong here. He's gonna bingo and gonna win. But Zev, I do think he probably knows Tweenie. I think he's just probably trying to give himself like 2 places to bingo just in case he drew something, and then Jackson bingoed so that Josh could bingo out. Something along those lines. But obviously did not work out. It was a long shot, regardless. Inspired for sure.
Yeah.
But something tells me he knew Tweety was good, just didn't play it.
Jackson commits.
Okay, finally. He does commit.
Josh throws over in front of creators, jokingly. Well, with
I don't know if he cares to optimize. I don't know if he cares to optimize the end game here, but not easy for. Well, Jackson's just showing the rack. I think they're just having fun now. They know Jackson won. They're both good friends. They have respect for each other. Some more updates in the meantime. Ori Swift won his game as well, sitting in 4th place. I think Jackson's gonna be pushed up to 3rd due to spread. And then Rafi might pass him based on if he won his game, which is not updated. And then CSW, Dave Wiegand won, Ben Schoenbrunn won, Jeff Teveno won.
And we do see Grovier coming down from Josh.
Okay.
And Jackson will have one more play.
And it looks like that's a wrap on day one once we have these last couple plays. Did I say day one? It's been a long day for me. I had work this morning myself. Not fully in it right now. I do apologize. I know I'm probably not everybody's favorite commentator, but I did have a lot of fun being here. Appreciate the opportunity. 2 good games that we got to look at. You see Merck coming down from Jackson, which Quackle says is the best play. And you see KA come down correctly for 8 points. So we have a final score of 422 to Jackson and 342 to Josh.
Well, even though that was an 80-point loss for Josh, the game was much closer than that, than the score indicated.
A lot of interesting plays there. I think mostly well played on both sides. Definitely a lot of good plays from Jackson I saw. I mean, I really don't think there's anything I fully disagreed on except for AX with Josh. Seeing a lot of high-level Scrabble from these guys, even at the end of a tough day.
Yeah, it's been fun to see.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for both of us. Thanks, Doug, for making it. Good to see you coming on at the last minute.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was really fun. Thanks to everyone.
I think tomorrow morning we're going to be back. Don't know if Morris Greenberg has committed yet. I think he might have had something going on, but I know Will Anderson is going to be back, and if Morris doesn't show up, I think I'm going to come in. But you're going to see Will and somebody else. I believe games probably start same time at 10 o'clock Central, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right.
I mean, I think they purposely
9?
put it a little. Yes, 10 o'clock as confirmed on the flyer. 10 o'clock Central Time, which I think means 4 o'clock in the UK. So thanks everybody for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be here commentating Scrabble. Time to go watch my Kansas City Chiefs beat the Patriots. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.
Goodbye.